Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
Cedric, today is just so insanely beautiful out. I went outside for the longest time in between the shows, and I did pick like a flower off the tree, and then I looked down. You know what I saw?
What did you see?
That yellow powder.
That's
and
right.
I said, oh.
You said, yeah.
Cedric's been talking about it.
Hey,
Let me go wash my hands, not touch my eyes.
Oh my goodness. I walked in from the parking lot, and it's just, there's a little bit of a breeze out there, so it's just all it's like snow and pollen.
So you've started taking your meds?
Oh, I've been taking it now. I've like tripled up on it now, so it's hopefully it improves one day.
It hasn't gotten me yet, so maybe in Utah I'm better off. I don't know. We'll see.
Lucky you. For me, it's a different story. Hey, let's talk about, besides the pollen, though, the weather is nice. So we do want to stress that. So let's show you what we had yesterday, because we had some record high temperatures to talk about yesterday. It was pretty warm. In fact, look at these record highs. Cedar City, you hit 81 degrees. That was the new record high, beating the old record high of 77. Scipio tied a record high of 78 degrees yesterday. That last time you were 78 degrees, you had to go back to 1931 on this date, so yesterday. So that's a pretty long time ago. Manti, 75. You tied the old record high. That was back from 1907. That was even longer. And then Alta, way up there in the atmosphere there. You got to go up in elevation, I should say. And 64 degrees, a new record high, beating the old record high of 61 degrees. Now, in Salt Lake City yesterday, we only hit 80 degrees. I say only, but that's the first time this year we've hit 80. With that being said, the old record high was 81. Missed it by 1 degree. That was set back in 2012. But here's the deal. The average high yesterday was 60 degrees. So we were 20 degrees above average even with that. So it was still quite warm and toasty out there. All right, let's talk about your weather headlines, because yes, we're tracking that moderate air quality for most areas with a little bit of that haze still out and about around the region. But overall, the big story is the record temperatures that are going to be possible as we go into this afternoon, as we're looking at those numbers really climbing as we go throughout today. We're already warm, and we're likely to get a few more degrees warmer. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty good bet that we tie or break a record high today. But we do have some cooler changes on the way, just in time for the upcoming weekend. So as I mentioned, this high pressure is doing its job. It creates sinking air. That sinking air compresses and heats up quickly, and that allows for our temperatures to soar, and that's what we're going to be seeing not only now, but that's what we're going to be seeing as we go into the afternoon. But right now, it's already 78 degrees in Salt Lake City, 76 degrees in Ogden, 75 in Delta. So these numbers are already pretty toasty, and they're going to continue to climb as we go throughout the afternoon. So St. George, we're going to get you in the 80s next hour, and I think over the next few hours, we'll get into the low 90s for daytime highs with that sunshine. So it's going to be fairly toasty across the south, if not, dare I say, hot down south. And then across the northern half of the area, we're going to see these 70s turn into 80s. And again, probably getting into the low, maybe even a couple of mid-80s as we go throughout this afternoon, which would be some new record high temperatures across the area. 81 expected in Vernal, 85 degrees expected in Delta as we look at your numbers close in. 79 degrees in the Heber Valley, 82 degrees for our friends in Spanish Fork this afternoon, about 83 in Oak City, 77 in Emory, but 85 in Castledale. As we look at your forecast here, as you get towards Lake Powell, 87 degrees, and there you see that 92 that stands out in St. George. Also keep in mind the UV index with that sunshine out and about is at 8. That's in the very high risk. That means if you don't have that sunscreen, SPF 15 or greater, you could burn in less than 20 minutes. So lather it on again in about 15 minutes. Just put it on, keep it on. It's always good for you. Hey, take a look at the pollen forecast. Yeah, I wished I had some relief. If you're a sufferer from the allergies, especially the tree pollen right now, there is no relief in sight, at least through the weekend. So we've got this high pressure ridge, but it begins to get knocked down as we go into your Saturday. And by Sunday, we get a deeper trough in here, and that'll try to usher in some slightly cooler air across the area, especially for areas down to the south. Not much rainfall expected during this time. St. George, got that front coming through, but before it arrives, low 90s, and then we're back into the mid to upper 80s. As you look over towards the Wasatch Front, we've got low to mid 80s before we cool it down to the 50s by Sunday.